everybody. The time is 4:59 p.m., 5 o'clock on March 2nd. Welcome to another update from Great Lakes Weather. Hopefully everybody's doing well. And we are touching on, once again, that winter storm that is going to be making its way into the Great Lakes region coming tomorrow. Right now, there is a tornado outbreak ongoing across the south. That same system is going to move up to the northeast at this point, and then by Friday midday into the afternoon hours, we're going to start to see some snow start to move into the area. So we're going to talk about that. Make sure to subscribe. Continue to stay updated on this event as it comes through. We'll continue to be posting updates, and then as this snow falls, may actually go out and do some snow chasing a little bit later tomorrow afternoon. So we will see how that turns out. But let's get right to it with what is going on in the weather at the current moment. So here is the moderate risk of severe thunderstorms that's currently in place across parts of southern United States. So you can see that the Arklatex region is completely included in this. This is an ongoing event. They have reduced the tornado threat as of recently. So the tornado threat has gone down according to what the Storm Prediction Center has had out there. So, but there is a tornado watch currently in effect for that area. You do have that that moderate risk continuing all the way out into parts of central Arkansas, heading up towards Kentucky and Tennessee. One thing that you're going to want to pay attention to, particularly if you live in southern Indiana, southern Ohio, is that the new risk area for severe thunderstorms has lifted farther to the north across parts of the region. So southern Indiana, southern Ohio is included in a slight risk for severe thunderstorms for tornadoes and damaging winds. Hail threat is very low with these storms, but the tornado and wind threat does appear to be existing with this line of thunderstorms that's currently developing over parts of the plains and moving east. But that's something you're going to want to pay attention to if you live in that region, that even though the winter weather is going to stay off to the north, you're going to be dealing with severe weather farther down to the south. So keep that in mind as we progress into tomorrow. There's going to be multiple modes of storm activity across the Great Lakes region. Let's move into the snow discussion now. So you do see that here's the guidance for probability of snow accumulating greater than 6 inches now. So I'm showing you potential for more than half a foot of snow across parts of Michigan. You do notice that the potential is low across much of the area, except if you are in areas between Waterford and Midland. Here's the thing, this forecast is very, very difficult. There is still some decent model disagreement, but a lot of models are starting to show a further displacement of the snow farther to the south. So this might be updated to show that. But again, the National Weather Service does project east of Grand Rapids and north of Detroit is going to be the main focus for heavy snow potential. Now, greater than 1 inch of snow, there's a good probability across much of central northern Indiana, northwest Ohio, and Michigan. Okay, so you've noticed there that there's a little bit of a southward change in that forecast. Okay, that's been accounting for some of those new model data that we've been getting for quite a little bit. So you do notice there's a higher probability now than there was before. I want to show you the models because the models have changed a lot just over the course of the day. Big differences do exist. First of all, with regards to potential for school closings, I think they're going to be pretty low. Okay, low across much of Michigan because the event's not going to begin until the afternoon hours. So I do think this event is not going to continue enough for school closings in the area. So here is the low pressure system in Texas currently producing that severe weather across parts of the Arklatex region, and you can see that the moisture that comes from that is just going to kind of bulge out right here and push its way farther to the north. Okay, that's going to be running into cooler air farther north. That's going to allow just the precipitation to begin to fall. You do have this front still here producing severe thunderstorms. You get a sounding down south. You don't really see that hazard type there, but you do see low level wind shear, good SRH, minimal CAPE, so really not much CAPE driving that. But you do notice that as we get into later Friday morning, this is at about 10 a.m., you see that snow beginning to fall in parts of northern Indiana. Now that is still at question, how soon will it begin to fall? It may not make it till the afternoon. There's still some model disagreement on that, but there is a much better focus on where the models will place much of the brunt of this snowfall. So here's what it looks like. You have that deepening low and you have that heavy snow on the northern side. There's those thunderstorms, possibly severe across southern Ohio, producing some possible damaging winds with that. Moving off to the northeast, it's going to be short-lived, but it's going to dump a lot of snow in a short period of time, okay? So it's going to move out of the area rather quickly and be out by Saturday morning. So it's really just a Friday event. Over the course of several hours, we could see 6 to 10 inches of snow across much of southern Michigan, and about 4 to 8 inches across northern Indiana as it currently appears on the models. It's a very tough system to forecast. A lot of variabilities still do exist. I'm going to show you those variabilities in just a minute. So let's zoom in on the Euro model right now, or the HRRR model actually, because we have the HRRR data, and that's usually a good one to look at. So let's progress it forward as we get into Friday at 7 a.m. This is at 7 a.m. Notice here, southern Indiana, southern Ohio, you're going to be seeing rain. Rain accumulations of 1.5 inches to 2 inches will be possible with this in those areas where rain will continue to fall. Farther north, you're just going to see that snow. Now, you do notice that as this moves off the east, notice there's a few pockets of snow starting to develop within this, all right? I don't think this is going to be a freezing rain event. Really, it's just going to be either rain or snow most people are seeing. Now, you do see those thunderstorms down to the south moving up to the northeast. Those could possibly be strong to severe, as again, once before, it's something I've mentioned, but those could possibly pack some severe weather. Now, the HRRR is hinting at the fact that this could start out initially as some rainfall, so let's look at that real quick. You do notice that the temperatures during the morning could be above freezing at about 37 degrees. And then as this low deepens and lifts farther to the north, it's going to pull in more cooler air from the northeast, going to start to cool things down a bit. And you see that transition to snow start to begin by the afternoon. So the dendritic growth zone is very large, and temperatures are still in the upper 30s, according to what the HRRR projects. But that snowfall is still going to be able to fall across much of the Great Lakes region. So that snow's falling, could begin out as a wintry mix across much of the area. Temperatures will begin to drop to freezing or below freezing by later in the evening. This is actually at about 4 p.m. 4 p.m. you pretty much have snow across much of the southern part of Michigan and northern Indiana. You have a wintry mix falling. Now here's the reason why I don't think it's a freezing rain event. You do notice that the temperatures are staying pretty close to freezing or just above, and there's not really that sharp drop in temperatures before it hits the ground right here. So I don't think it's going to be a freezing rain event. I think everyone's going to either see rain or snow. So that's kind of what is currently being shown here. But you see it's going to last through much of the overnight, and then it finally begins to move out of the area by about sunrise. You don't have pretty much any snow anywhere. So this thing's going to dump snow, and it's going to dump snow quick. How much snow? That's the question. Lots. For a very short period of time, this is a lot of snow, okay? 6 to 10 inches of snow, I think this is an overestimate. If I take the Kuchera ratios estimate, you do notice that the amount does go down, okay? So about 10 inches of snow across the board for this region, and then isolated areas could see heavier than that, but I do think that's really going to be the brunt of the snow. And you see the GFS and the Euro are actually in model agreement with this setup, so that model agreement really does show that the brunt of the snow is going to hit this area, I think. So the brunt of the snow really begins from a little west of Detroit, a little east of South Haven, a band kind of stretching from southwest to northeast along that area. So that is where the brunt of the snow is going to be focused, I believe, and it's going to fall fast. Snowfall rates of 1 inch to 1.5 inches per hour will be possible with this snowfall event. Again, it's going to begin in the afternoon, so I don't see school closings being I don't see high potential for that. I see actually pretty low potential for that occurring. Rather, I could see the potential for some early dismissal days on the southern part of Michigan and the northern parts of Indiana. But other than that, I really think the chances are going to be low. I think everyone's going to have pretty much a full school day for the entire area. So just things to keep in mind to plan out your morning. But the afternoon and evening commutes will be severely impacted. You will not want to be out on the roads during that time period because the snow is going to be very thick and heavy during that time period. Now, things still could change. We are still a couple hours out from this event actually beginning, about 12 to 15 hours out from this event actually beginning. So keep that in mind. It's really probably going to change here and there as we get closer to the actual event. So that's the latest information from the weather models. I don't think there's going to be much freezing rain with this, so I'm not even going to worry about forecasting the ice accumulation potential. So that's all for now. Short video. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this information was helpful to you. Make sure you subscribe to stay updated, and I will continue to provide updates on this winter storm as it progresses forward. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.